Yahoo! Saki, you pervert, I hear you say. But don't close that tab just yet. You see, dating games, yeah, they do conjure up some pretty diverse opinions and images. And second, in Tokimeki Memorial, you played the role of a boy trying to date a bunch of girls. So what am I doing wanting to play a game like that? Well, why not? Do I only have to play games with pink in them? Honestly, the reason is that this game is kind of fun. And if you're learning Japanese, this is such a good game to get into. And if you're not learning Japanese, I want to explain why the first Tokimeki Memorial game isn't entirely creepy or weird. The history of this game is on Wikipedia. It's on other reviews. In fact, I've linked to a couple of really good ones down below in the video description. Instead, I want to explain the premise quickly, and then I will focus the review on why this is actually a better game than you might be thinking, and second, this game's killer feature, its utility to Japanese learners. For this review, I'm reviewing the Sega Saturn version, but the game exists in various forms on the PlayStation, PC Engine, PC, and even some somewhat cut-down ports on the Game Boy Color and Super Famicom. At the start of this game, you're at the start of your 3 years at high school between 1995 and 1998. The school's legend goes that the girl you meet under the tree on the school grounds on graduation day will be the love of your life. That's all there is to it. The game starts you with some low-level stats that on a weekly basis you can decide whether to focus on your studies, club activities, friendships, appearance, and more. There is no more depth to this other than choosing the option, for example, to study science, and for that week you'll level up your science stats. These activities will prompt meeting the girls. For example, if you focus on your art, you will soon meet one of the girls, Ayako. Each week, you can invite one of the girls you have met on a date, go on a previously arranged date, or phone your buddy, Yoshio, and find out about new date spots. Get phone numbers for the girls you have met, or to find out the ratings and preferences of the girls. Now, how Yoshio is getting this information is quite up for debate, but let's just look at this game for what it is, rather than getting too deep into the reasoning or the lore. It is in your interest to keep dating the girls you meet, and sometimes they will turn you down if you suggest a location that isn't in their interest, or if you arrange multiple dates and forget who you're meeting on which day and where. This could lead to gossip being spread around by the girl in question who has taken a dislike to you because you've messed up your date. This can develop into gossip that is being spread around by being denoted by a bomb on the evaluation screen against the girl in question's name. If these bombs go off, your name is gonna be utter mud, and it could really dent your chances. As the 3 years elapse, you will eventually get to graduation day, and on this day, if you have successfully encouraged one of the relationships to build to a so-called blushing state, then one of these girls will confess their love for you under the tree in the school grounds, and this is where your game will end. A single playthrough will take around about 4 to 5 hours on average, and naturally you can try many different methods and interests to see how you get on with each playthrough. That is a very basic summary of the game mechanics. Along the way, you'll also engage in school activities, mini-games, and even get into JRPG-style battles like in Final Fantasy, where you square off against bullies who could ambush your dates. Is there anything questionable in this game? Well, mostly no, but there is a shower scene where you have the choice of whether to take a peek or not. I'm going to leave that decision to you. I'm just here to tell you how this game stands up as a game. Let's move on to how the Japanese level is in this game. I rate this game as conversational, or approximately JLPT-N3 level, but some characters speak at a high level, but more on that in a second. A description of the Japanese ratings I use in this channel is available from the video description. This game is fantastic for Japanese learners because the language is very accessible to those who have been working on their Japanese. The game does feature kanji, but many Japanese learners who have put the time into learning kanji will tell you that this makes it easier to read overall. There is no furigana present, and there will be some kanji beyond even wanikani level 30, but it's fairly minimal. The hardest part will be recognising the names in a phone book at first, but over time you'll get used to it. Playing the game is a fun way to really back up your kanji study. If you're only working through workbooks or kanji memorization apps like Wanikani, you really need to start to ensure that you can read Japanese, otherwise your so-called burned knowledge will eventually disappear, and this game will provide great fun practice. During your conversations, you'll be presented with a mixture of casual, polite, and very polite Japanese, or keigo. Each of the girls will stick to one level of politeness or another, meaning you'll be getting a good workout on understanding the different levels of Japanese politeness. You will also have some voice scenes, which is great for your Japanese listening practice, although there is plenty that isn't voiced as well, but this is definitely welcome. One other aspect that is really important for learning a language is being able to understand the statements or questions and then respond in a most appropriate manner. You will get this kind of test on dates in this game, where a good answer can really elevate your standing and a bad answer can really turn a girl off of you. This is such a great thing for your study. This is where I think Tokimeki Memorial has its greatest value, its benefit to Japanese learners. This is a game where once you have reached a certain level with your Japanese study, that it's going to really make you feel good about how much you understand, but also push you that little bit as well. Often kanji learning programs such as Wanikani, which I think are great by the way, will push some common words quite late on into the program, meaning if you're not studying kanji and vocabulary outside of these kinds of programs, it can really hold back your learning somewhat. But by getting this kind of input early on, you're doing your Japanese skills a great service, and the replayability really doubles down on your learning. Overall, whilst dating sims have a bit of a bad reputation, this is one that I recommend Japanese learners to try. Those of you who can't understand any Japanese or are around the beginner level are honestly not going to get too much from this game. But if you are learning, it may well be worth picking up on any of the systems that it's available for, including the forthcoming Switch port, and trying it every now and then and just seeing how far you can get with your current Japanese level. Admittedly, this won't be everybody's favourite starter game, but if any of the above piques your interest, give it a go. So, how do I rate this game? Well, I rate it as great. Yep, that might surprise you, but this was a genre-defining game. It may not technically be the very first dating sim, but it was the first game of its genre to really go into the stratosphere in terms of popularity here in Japan and make it a permanent genre. The popularity and impact of this game in Japan just cannot be understated. With so many spin-offs and merchandising beyond belief, it certainly kept Konami busy. I like to think the Rubbish Heap's ratings are straightforward, but also take account of the game's history and its contribution to gaming overall. A respect for it, if you will. The reason I do this channel is because I love games and I want more people to enjoy what I enjoy playing. I am passing this respect that I have for this game on to you. And yeah, of course, I'm not really a fan of the shower scenes inclusion, but if you put that to one aside, this really is a genre-defining game with amazing utility for Japanese learners, and the presentation is absolutely top-notch. The mini-games are a bit meh, but they are far from the focus of the game, and are only there to add a little break to the gameplay. Overall, the best and most successful versions are on the PlayStation or Saturn, but the original is still decent on the PC Engine, and the Super Famicom and Game Boy Color versions, which are compatible with the original black and white Game Boy as well, are certainly interesting. Or you could wait for the Switch port due in 2025. This was one of my longer reviews, but I hope you enjoyed it. As always, like, subscribe and all of that shit, and also check out this rad Rubbish Heap merch, available worldwide on Redbubble and Amazon. See the links below for how to purchase. I've been Saki Endo, and this has been a Rubbish Heap. じゃあねーね。
ねえ、今度はあなたから好きって言ってください。新しい恋はもっとドキドキするよ。ときめきメモリアル発売。
From Konami.